Hello, hello. Today we are talking about the power of moments. And I am so thrilled that we're diving into this, regardless of what your career is, what industry you're in. Leaning into the power of moments can have a significant impact on not just your success and your enjoyment of your career, your development. It can impact relationships and just, frankly, the baseline of how you feel every day. Today, Christina Cerda is joining me to discuss the power of moments. And Christina, from what I understand, you have really incorporated the power of moments into your life in a meaningful way. Could you share a little bit about that?
Sure. So I heard about the power of moments, the actual book, and it really impacted me because I'd already been doing a lot of that with my children at home. Birthdays are big and other celebrations, anniversaries are big, Christmas is big. So
hmm
we try to make every moment meaningful so that it can create a beautiful memory.
I think that's so beautiful is the first word that comes to mind because it sounds like as a parent, as a family member in all directions, you are making the conscious decision that you're going to control what you're able to do to make those days even more meaningful for everyone in your circle.
That's correct.
How does that make you feel? Like, because there's an obvious benefit you said of you're creating more significant memories that have a better shot of standing out when people reflect on their life, right? Which has such an impact on so many things. We'll get into more of that later. But how does it make you feel as the person that is orchestrating it? What's the benefit for you?
Well, I want them to remember their mom, just remember that I put a lot of effort into making everything special for them so that when they get older, they can have those beautiful memories of their childhood. So I know
Right.
that we have a short time with our kids as them being young, that we can be influential in their lives. So definitely, I think it's part of building a legacy with them so that they can carry on these special memories and moments with their children also.
I feel like you're also benefiting, and I believe the book goes into this. So you're also benefiting your children and your family members that also experience it. By creating those memories, you're actually impacting their self-perception and their self-esteem. So in a very positive, powerful way. Is that part of what also makes this important for you to make sure that you keep the focus on doing this?
Absolutely. Well, if you celebrate someone's birthday and you go all out and, we wake each other up with music on each other's birthday, it makes them feel valuable. It makes them feel like they're important, and in a safe place at home. So when they are out in society and culture, they're not going to listen to what they have to say about them because they know what their family says about them.
That's right. And then it creates that stronger feeling of, I'll say, self-confidence and self-worth,
Absolutely. Yeah.
right?
Have very
And
self-confident children.
that is phenomenal. That I'm so glad to hear that. When you execute on this, and I'd love it if you don't mind, if you could share with us maybe an example of, you gave the one example of waking each other up with music on the birthday. So right from the get-go, that day is different and special. But I'd love in a moment if you could maybe walk us through some of the things that you do, say, to make Christmas special or one of the birthdays, if you'd be willing to share that, that would be great. I think this through and carry it out. And a couple of things came to mind for me as you were just sharing this. When you're creating memory, experience, the feelings in the actual day, you know that it's wonderful in the day and you're building that self-confidence and self-worth so that they're going to feel stronger and they're going to influence more people around them as they
Mhm.
grow and enter into society. When I reflect on all of that, I know there's no guarantees. Both of us certainly know there's no guarantees in life, in family, in, anything like that. But I
Mhm.
feel like you're giving them a better shot at resisting peer pressure. And you're also giving them a better shot at making their own decisions and forging their own path. Now, I know that's going a little far out and we're not fortune tellers, But I do see a correlation between if someone knows they're valued, knows that they're protected and loved, and they have good self-esteem and they feel self-confident. Those are the natural resistance to peer pressure and or making choices that may harm them because they are valuing themselves. Do you ever think about that in addition to the other benefits?
Um, yeah, I think that my kids, feel safe at home and valued at home and heard at home. And so I think when situations have come, because I have a 16-year-old, well, almost 16-year-old, there have been situations that have come up, like, maybe choosing a wrong friend or just someone that's not benefiting them. And
Right.
so we've had those conversations of like, you need to make a good choice, like, look who you are. Mom and dad have done a very, uh, lot of work for you not to live a life like maybe we grew up or your neighbor or somebody else is going through. And so those things we don't accept here or do here in our home. And so I think it's built a great relationship between our children and I that they listen to us. I mean, the girls are still younger, so it's not like a perfect thing. I don't think that we're perfect parents,
That's right.
but
Right.
I do think that we've really focused on just making every moment big and every moment memorable and important. Whether it's, they made the team. We're like texting, did you make the team? Send us a picture. How do you feel? What did your friends say? So it's everything is really meaningful around.
That brings up an interesting question. So let's say that one of your children was going for being on a team or getting a role in a play, or they were going for something and it didn't work out. How do you handle something that may be perceived as disappointment or a loss? Like, do you also attach a celebration around that or a moment around that? How would you handle a sad moment?
Yeah, well, we're just kind of believe in divine plans. And
Hmm.
so if it's not in the divine plan for you, then it didn't work out, but you learn, you put yourself out there, you learn disappointment because that's part of life. And if you really, really want this, then you got to try harder and
Right.
practice more and put in the effort. So for the most part, they're a little disappointed, but we try to explain, how some losses can also be wins in other areas.
That's phenomenal. So
Yes.
would you mind sharing? Give us an example of some of the ways that you're creating these moments, either with a holiday or a birthday. Just give us an example.
Yeah, for sure. So I think holidays are big here. Christmas is something that's been big for many, many years. And I come from a family that didn't celebrate Christmas. And so my husband's family, his mom would go really out. So I remember walking into their house and it was like the North Pole. It was beautiful, it was magical. And I always was like, I want to do this for my kids. So since they've been very young, and it's not about the gifts because we do a lot of Christmas before actual Christmas. So
Yes.
tree goes up November 1st, all the trees, the decorations, all the kids have a tree in their room. It's all about family time. So we do movie nights. We bake cookies. We spend time with grandma. She comes over. We cook together. We try to give back also to other people. We participate in every Christmas activity that there is in town, Christmas parades, Christmas pajamas at night, and then we have a family tree. So our family tree has all of our kids like little ornaments that they've made since kindergarten, first grade, second grade,
Right.
and then we get ornaments everywhere we go. And so our family tree, we put it up together as a family. We record it on a time lapse, and so we have those from many, many years now, probably 15
Oh my
years we have
goodness.
recordings, and so it's just a big deal, Christmas is a big deal, and I want my kids, when they get older, to also celebrate Christmas big with their families, and so that's kind of what we do as far as Christmas.
I think that's fantastic. Do you ever have times where at a different age or stage, have any of your children been sort of like, that's too over the top, I don't want to do it? Or are they still pretty much all in?
They know that's my personality. I'm over the top in everything I do, so they're used to that. Like, if we're having a dinner party, like, I'm over the top with the dinner party. It's just my DNA to be over the top, so they're kinda used to that.
I need to figure out a way to get invited to your children's weddings. Let me think. How could I do
Absolutely.
that? Because I have a feeling those are going to be some of the best weddings ever. So thank you
Yeah.
for sharing all of this about you and your family. I have one other question about family. So I know that you have this focus, and I know at Christmas time you're inviting relatives, aunts and uncles, grandma, grandparents, all of that. Are there ever times where you do the power of moments in the other direction? So not so much towards the children, but maybe towards your parents or aunts and uncles. Like, do you also have it where it's extending in other directions with your family?
Well, yeah, because typically I'm the planner, the organizer
Hmm.
of Christmas. So, I'm like, okay, let's do what do y'all want to do for all the kids? And what are we going to do for grandma? Everybody, something special for her. My mom also, she has 15 grandchildren. So she
Hmm.
typically makes them these little goodie bags. And so they look forward to that. But it's just really my mom that comes. I don't have extended relatives around here. So we just try to make it memorable for them
Nice.
and for them to remember grandma and all her traditions too.
Excellent. So now I'm curious because Christina, you're an amazing businesswoman. You have a multi-million dollar sales corporation that specializes in real estate, the Christina Cerda team at Keller Williams, Lone Star DFW. And when I think about the power of moments, similar to you, my first thought is my inner circle, my family, my friends.
Mhm.
But you and I have talked, and you have also incorporated the power of moments into your business. And from what you've shared with me so far, not just with your clients, but even with your colleagues and your office. So I would love it if you could share a little bit. How have you taken the power of moments and incorporated that into your work as a businesswoman and a realtor?
Yeah, so I think even just starting with the power of our presence, like when we walk in. So I talk to my team about always looking top tier and not expensive. I'm not talking about expensive clothes, but always being professional and presentable. So
Yes.
that's kind of one of my requirements on my team is that we've built a brand. And so, always looking presentable so that when you walk in a place, you demand, you know, not bad attention, but just, very professional and they're here. So, and we get that a lot from people around here. So we're kind of rural. So a lot of people don't maybe dress up as much as we do. So
Right.
that's a big thing. Also, like their wins, we celebrate their wins, whether it's their first contract, whether they close something. We also are there for each other when, you've had a very difficult deal.
Yes.
I'll go and, I'm bringing coffee tomorrow because we need coffee or, send a text message. I know it's difficult time and, I'm praying for you. Um, so we just show up for each other there. One of my agents had a loss. And so, we got a little basket together and gave it to her. It's not very typical culturally that we do all that these things. Usually Hispanic people aren't this big on business stuff, I would say. And so I just try to make every moment special for my clients. Also, like when they close on a home, we go big. We
Right.
do videos, we show up, we kind of just we want to make everything memorable.
So, Christina, when it's appropriate for the client, I know that you also do some celebrations on social media. And I'm going to have links where people that are listening to this can start following you. Would you say that Facebook is your primary platform? Excellent. Okay, so we'll make sure that we have all of that contact information so that people can follow and see how you're celebrating your clients
Yes,
and their successes. Also, you do that with your team members, correct?
correct. Yes.
Yeah. And so you might have noticed when I asked that question, I said when it's appropriate for the person. So let's say that you have a staff member or you have a client and you know that they are more introverted and they're also extremely private. So do you alter how you celebrate the moment based on the recipient's love language, like how they like to receive things? Do you alter it in any manner for that?
Yes, so, not all home sales are happy sales, sometimes something happened in their life, such as
Right.
loss or divorce. And so it's hard to celebrate that because maybe they're not celebrating that loss. And so what I've done is, I've celebrated the new chapter that's going to begin. And it might be, closing one chapter, opening a new chapter, but typically, they'll tell me I don't want a picture or I don't want a video. And so we just kind of celebrate it privately.
Yes. Okay, good. So I think that I just want people to know that when you are embracing the power of moments, it doesn't mean that it's a one size fits all and you're just,
No.
showering it all over people that
Yes.
may not have an umbrella and don't want the shower, right? So I think that working that in for your client, customizing it to what they're going to appreciate is just such a way that enhances and makes working with you stand out from working with just any realtor because you're going to make the experience more of a celebration.
Absolutely.
In your experience, what are the benefits for the client when you do that? Does it ease their anxiety or stress?
Well, we celebrate from getting a pre-approval. Yay, you got your
Yay.
pre-approval. Here's the next step.
Right.
When we go see homes and they choose one and we make an offer and it gets accepted, we always send a congratulations email. Congratulations, your offer has been accepted. And we celebrate that too. Then we are okay. The next step is this. So we're kind of doing small wins and celebrations and leading up to the actual close date. We're like, yay, we made it. We send a text that morning. Congratulations, today is closing day, and here's the details for the day. And then afterwards, we typically give them the keys in person. We do a video. If they're okay, we always ask if it's okay for to do a
Right.
video. It's okay to post on social media. And most of them, I've only had one person say no, they didn't want to do a video. They didn't want to all of that. So we just celebrate quietly and privately.
Right.
But most people that do follow me on social media and our clients that have come from social media, they kind of want that because that's what they're expecting. So
Yes.
now we kind of have to do it for all of our clients, which is fun
Yes.
for us. So
They want
we
their
enjoy it.
turn.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's cool. I know that buying, selling real estate, and moving, that is in the top 3 stresses in our society of anyone's lifetime. And it is when you are celebrating these moments along the way, I believe you're giving your clients a gift because when you do those celebrations for each milestone, then it can make them less stressed and ease their anxiety around the entire process. So I think it's wonderful. That's part of your client experience. So, Christina, how else has the power of moments infiltrated your business? Do you use it in any other area other than just your active clients under contract?
Absolutely. So we kind of are the mentality that we are once our client, always our client.
Nice.
So typically we stay in contact with them through the year, celebrating either holidays, anniversaries, home anniversaries, birthdays, back to school, hello summer, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all the things. So we usually do like a pop by gift or we send something through the mail or we host client events that they're all welcome to come. So we just want to make their experience with us beyond the transaction. And, typically we get to know them well and they just become like family to us.
Well, as someone who has been in real estate for 27 years, thank you for doing that because you're living out that the relationship doesn't end at closing. The closing is actually the beginning of the relationship.
Absolutely.
So it sounds like you are staying in their lives as a meaningful resource of what it means to be a homeowner in the area. And you're also adding in that celebratory, let's enjoy every day of life, and I think that's a winning combination. So that having that in makes me think, do these things allow you to enjoy your daily work and your career at a higher level?
Absolutely. I'm all about, living life to the fullest and you're always making memories. So are those going to be good memories or bad memories? You could think about when you got married or if you had a loss in your life, you'll remember those moments. And so I just want to flood my life and other people's life with good moments and that when they have any interaction with me that it would be a positive one.
Excellent. Well, I just feel like you've definitely embraced the power of moments. Would you recommend the book? I can put a link to
Absolutely.
the book as well in the description, and it is called The Power of
Yes.
Moments. So, especially post-COVID, I feel like what you're doing is almost a little bit like a mission because so many people went through such a horrible experience, and now you're adding celebration back into the mix. Not that it ever went away for the people in your world, but I do think that now, even more than almost ever, adding back in joy on a regular basis, I think is so critical for all of us as a society. So I'm glad that you're doing that. When anyone wanted to get in touch with you, which I am going to have your contact information, and again, it's Christina Cerda at the Keller Williams Lone Star Dallas Fort Worth office. We can put your contact information in the description. Is there a quick way that people can reach you? Facebook message?
Facebook message, Instagram. Those are always,
Perfect.
I'm always on there.
Perfect. Okay, they can do that. I want to thank you so much for sharing all of this with us today. It is a benefit. It's a gift. This is such a cliche, but it's a gift that you give that gives back to you. I am sure that your overall enjoyment, those benefits that your children, your other family members, your clients, your staff, your team, you are also reaping that reward. And you've renewed my interest in reclaiming some of the celebratory things that I used to do myself that I have stepped away from. So I'm already thinking about this coming Christmas season and how I want to infuse more celebration into that entire season. I don't think I'll hit November 1 for the tree, but I could do the weekend after Thanksgiving. I think the weekend after Thanksgiving, I'm already thinking in my mind I'm going to do that. Christina, I am familiar with a lot of the training at Keller Williams, not just Lone Star Dallas Fort Worth, but Keller Williams Realty International. And a lot of what you're saying ties in with that concept of building your life by design. And I know that that's a key element of a lot of the training programs and the culture at Keller Williams. So it's interesting to me. I feel like you're living that out. Do you feel like the Power of Moments really allows you to create that life by design in a way that's consistent and in a way that is meaningful for you?
Absolutely. I think that you can create the life that you want with a lot of hard work, a lot of planning, a lot of decision making. And so for me, I think that that's been what's helped me since I was young and in college and what I want to do with my life. I planned it out. And I think, along the way, celebrating those wins is also super fun because why not celebrate all your hard work?
That's right. Yes, absolutely. So just wanted to thank you again for joining me today. I could talk about the Power of Moments for hours, but I think we should probably wrap up. Do you have any final thoughts for anyone who may be listening?
Absolutely. Enjoy your life. Build a life that you enjoy. Celebrate the big wins, and that way the losses don't hit you that hard.
Absolutely. And thank you again.